Well, look what we have here, the all-new Toyota Land Cruiser.
Now, we know it goes off-road, but what's it like to drive every day on-road? Oh yeah, we're in the Land Cruiser.
See? So good power in this hybrid.
All right, so what's under the hood of this new Land Cruiser?
It's the iForce Max Hybrid, a 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder with a 48 horsepower electric motor. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission and a combined 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque.
It has full-time four-wheel drive and premium fuel is recommended, but you can use regular. Now, as we said off the beginning, of course, this is designed to be off-road capable. We'll get into all of the different settings, locking center diffs and all that kind of stuff. But right now we want to get into how it drives on road. But before we get into, well, easy, Andrea. Before we get into all
twisty road.
Before we get into all of that, what are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with a 7-inch driver display, an 8-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a wireless charger, 6-way manual driver seat, a 4-way manual passenger seat, cloth heated front seats, a heated steering wheel, push button start, and Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. In the US, a wireless charger is not standard.
Well, I kind of teased it already. We have sway bar disconnect, all of these different settings for off-road, but what else can we put it in?
Got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's up behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. So we are here on a total Toyota Palooza with 5 different vehicles. One we didn't drive, that's the new 4Runner, but we did drive the new Toyota Tacoma with the same powertrain. Are you enjoying it over there?
Well, we are on this twisty road. I cannot believe how well this handles. The power, I mean, we're going up a hill. The steering isn't too heavy, so this vehicle is really easy to maneuver. I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually a little bit surprised by how well it's handling this twisty road.
I'm impressed with the powertrain. So a lot of people are really concerned about the new iForce Max with the Turbo 4, the hybrid system. So it's developed not just to give you better fuel economy, it's also developed to give you power, and it has monster torque, and the torque curve is really steep. So it's designed to get you out of the pocket and going, and also if you were towing, to pull a trailer away from a light or up a hill really quickly. So it's incredible how they've been able to manage what is useful in everyday situations, but also useful for off-road.
And the cabin is actually fairly quiet. We're on a California highway. They can get a little bit loud, and this is keeping the road noise down quite well. We are in the middle trim of the Land Cruiser. We were in 1958.
That's the base model.
That's the base model. We did some off-roading in it. So this is based on the TNGA-F platform.
I love when you talk dirty like that. TNGA-F.
It has a double wishbone front suspension and a multi-link rear suspension with coil springs. Now, Land Cruiser left Canada for 35 years. In the US, it's only taken a short hiatus for 2 years, but it's back. And when Toyota first came to Canada in 1964, Land Cruiser was one of 3 models that it offered.
Well, the interesting thing is that the other one was Crown, and we're here to drive the Crown Signia too. Isn't it the way it all comes full circle all those years later? Well, this is divided, as Andrea mentioned, into the base model, 1958 with the round headlamps. This is called Land Cruiser, the one with the rectangular headlamps, the one I like. And then there's the special First Edition. What's that one called?
Yeah, it's called the First Edition
model.
Right. You got it right. And there's going to be 5,000 units made in North America, but only 290 in Canada.
Nice.
So if you're lucky to get one of those, it comes loaded, and you've got the First Edition badging. With this middle trim that we're test driving, you've got to add a package to get kind of all of those extra features, including the moonroof.
Oh boy, Andrea, just get ready for it, everybody. You think mid-size pickup trucks have gotten expensive. Well, this is back. Land Cruiser's back, based on the Prado that's sold around the world, and it ain't cheap, friends. Especially that First Edition model is bumping right into luxury territory. So 4 forewarned, it's coming up later. The price. You got to really want one of these.
All Land Cruisers come with a center locking differential, an electronically controlled 2-speed transfer case, an electronic locking rear differential, and automatic limited slip differential. There's also standard crawl control, downhill assist control, and available multi-terrain select. Now the middle trim that we're test driving, it's the one that has a stabilizer bar disconnect.
The Land Cruiser has an approach angle of 31 degrees and a max departure to 22 degrees. The breakover angle is 25 degrees. A trailer hitch is standard on all grades. So we did an off-road course and I really tried out the crawl control. If you've driven Tacoma, for example, that has that low-speed traction and basically low-speed cruise control for off-roading, the ABS pump would make a lot of noise. It would You use it now, you can't hear it. So it's really incredible how they've been able to make that big jump forward.
Well, it's just amazing to take this vehicle off-road, see how capable it is, but then you take it on-road and it has a bit of a refined feel to it, but it still feels like a truck. You know, you still get that truck
truckiness
feel, just like Tacoma.
Okay, put your foot into it. Just put your foot into it. I just want to, because what I really like about this, even though it's a turbo 4 and a hybrid system, the 8-speed automatic is doing its job, dropping a gear or two, and the instant torque you get from the electric motor is making it a very satisfying experience. So driving Tacoma, driving this, I'm kind of sold on this now. I would, however, Andrea, based on the price,
I know.
I would still, for me, I would get the Lexus GX. It's more money, but I don't know. That twin turbo V6 was pretty tempting too.
I know, and that's the thing. It comes with the V6. However, this hybrid,
it's very good.
It's so good. And then listen, when I kick this, the cabin is still quiet. Like, remember, we're on California road. Zach's like in a panic. Okay, don't worry.
Before we go on, there's a meme that I saw online, and I'm going to show it to you now. It's like what every husband looks like when their wife drives. It's very good.
Please, Zach, I'm an awesome driver.
I didn't say you were an awesome driver. I'm just holding on for dear life over here.
Now, some of you might wonder about the new 4Runner that just came out. This gets 8.7 inches of ground clearance, and the new 4Runner 9.2 inches. So it does offer more ground clearance on the new 4Runner, but guess what? They both share the same wheelbase, so we should expect the same passenger space in the 4Runner that you see in this Land Cruiser.
If you put a gun to my head and said, pick one, Andrea, I would say the Land Cruiser with the rectangular headlamps. I just love that look over the round ones. I get the retro look of the round ones. I just think this one looks better. I still think the GX looks the best of the bunch. But, you know, it's boxy, it's built on the Prado, and I think mission accomplished from Toyota.
I mean, so iconic looking. I am definitely drawn to the 1958 model with the round headlights. I don't know. It speaks to me. The issue...
Type below, round headlamps... Or the rectangular.
The issue I have with the 1958 model is it's just not as comfortable as this model.
You know what's really comfortable, Andrea? The Lexus GX.
Yes.
That's really comfy.
So you get cloth upholstery in the 1958, and the seats just don't feel as cushioned as this model. But we did speak to the product planner, and you know what they said? You could actually remove those rectangular lights and you could put the round headlights in if you wanted to.
You'd probably have to change the whole grille. What he basically said is if you got in an accident and they were being replaced, you could replace them with a rectangular, they're plug and play. But that's big money, I'm sure.
That's a whole other ballgame.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Just buy this one. So what does this one get on the outside?
So the Land Cruiser comes standard with LED headlights, LED fog lights, and then you get the Toyota Heritage Grille on that 1958 model. This middle trim, as we already discussed, gets the rectangular headlights. And the first edition model, if you're lucky to get one, adds a roof rack, rock rails, round LED headlamps, a back door guard, and mud flaps. 18-inch wheels are standard, available 20-inch, and the Land Cruiser gets a full-size spare tire.
So I really believe the one with the rectangular headlights is the one to get, not only because I think it looks better, but it has way more features on the inside. This is the one they really want you to buy, and wait for the price. The problem with the base model of the 1958 is the screen in the center is kind of cheap. Wait a sec, it's not kind of cheap. It's cheap and cheerful. It's only 8 inches, and it's got some plastic around it that just doesn't look
shiny plastic.
It does not look befitting of what they're charging for this thing.
Yeah.
This is the screen you want, and this Land Cruiser trim gets the power liftgate in the back, and I want that. And the other thing for Andrea were the steps to get in.
Yeah.
You want that too, right?
I need the running boards because I was in the 1958 and I literally have to jump out of it. So I need the running boards. The power lift gate is nice. It's got the pop out rear window,
here's
which
another
is
thing.
Great.
If you want that.
If you want that, you've got to get a package that you can add to the middle trim. So there's a lot of different features, and like we already discussed, the cloth upholstery, I don't mind on the 1958
These are
model.
softer.
It's fine.
These are
but
soft.
these are more cushioned seats and more comfortable.
Also, you get the full digital instrument cluster behind the steering wheel on this trim.
Yeah.
On the base model, you get a much smaller screen.
7 inch.
It looks down market for the base model on a vehicle that is not down market in price, let me tell you.
No.
And the thing is, it really is, Toyota wants you to buy this one, and they charge a lot more for it. That's the price they really want to charge for it.
And when you start looking around in this middle trim, it's got some really nice interior
Nicer.
trim. Well, it's soft. I mean, it's soft text, I'm sure. And all of this feels softer. This is more of a rubber feel on the top. And then under here, you do have some hard plastic. Here's some soft touch on this part. And then I have to say, for storage, this is quite a deep center console. And if you get the package, this is a cooled box.
A chill box.
Chill box. So let's get into the specs of that middle trim. It gets all the extra features like Softex upholstery, power front seats, ventilated front seats, the larger screens, and a 10-speaker audio system. Other available features that we didn't talk about: leather trim seats, driver's seat memory, a 14-speaker JBL sound system, and a head-up display. Now, if you go for that first edition model, you'll get first edition badging on the interior. Guess what? Heated rear seats are not offered on the Land Cruiser.
And what's also not available on Land Cruiser is an optional third row. However, in the 4Runner, there is going to be an optional third row.
Yeah.
All right, so here's me getting in the second row. I will say it's pretty roomy. You get pretty good leg room and headroom. As Andrea mentioned, it's a step to get in it. How does it compare?
Comparing the Land Cruiser to the Ford Bronco, it offers 43 inches of front row legroom, which is about the same as the Ford. Second row legroom at 36.7 inches is almost half an inch bigger than the Bronco.
Open up the liftgate, and the nice thing is you get a very large cargo area. There's a very thin, shallow space underneath if you want to put something else in there.
Unfortunately, overall cargo capacity and space behind the second row dimensions were not available at the time of filming.
Okay, this is a hybrid max. Does it get pretty good fuel economy, towing rating, and more in our vital stats?
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. We're using MSRP. The base 1958 model starts at just over $69,000. The Land Cruiser starts at just over $77,000. And that top first edition model is over $90,000. In the US, the 1958 starts at just under $56,000, and the first edition just under $75,000.
Here's the fuel economy: 10.7 liters per 100 kilometers city, 9.5 on the highway. That's 22 miles per gallon city, 25 miles per gallon highway. The towing capacity is 6,000 pounds, and Toyota offers a warranty of 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. In the United States, Toyota offers 2 years complimentary maintenance. So you want a rugged, off-road capable SUV? What else can you buy?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is a Ford Bronco 4-door with a 2.7-liter EcoBoost engine, 330 horsepower, and a starting price of almost $54,000.
The Jeep Wrangler Sport 4-door with a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, 285 horsepower, and a starting price of over $53,500.
The new Toyota 4Runner with a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 278 horsepower, and pricing has not been announced yet.
Oh, the one I like, the Lexus GX with a twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6, 349 horsepower, and a starting price of almost $87,000.
So there are 4 off-road capable SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I'm pleasantly surprised by how well it handles on-road.
I think this i4 Max system is fantastic. fantastic.
What I'd like is the package added to the 1958 model so I can have a little extra.
It's just expensive. This is really expensive. That's the only downfall
Yeah.
for me. All right, so there you go. What do you think of the all-new Land Cruiser?
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.